see how she
So I need to wish her a happy birthday next time I see her, or a belated one. Driving into gate 7. Let's see how it goes in. Just looks a little bit off, and she's having to work hard into 8. She's just low. Using her edges to try and conserve the speed and conserve the pace, but she's going to have to work hard in the bottom section now. But I'm sure that's a challenge that Kim could still face off. 6.68 up. Really putting on pressure to deliver this bottom half of the course.
Well, qualified so far is 8 seconds off the pace, so it's still doable.
It's doable, but it just means you got to really focus on. But
and only 3 athletes left to go.
In and out of 13. You can see her using that width clip, staying onto the wall so she can really set up 14, and that was done beautifully. Now she's going to drive 8.5. Ooh, this is.
It's still doable. If she's still doable, she just needs to believe.
Needs to believe and really stick to a plan, really focus on. And oh no, just turn back just a little early in 17, clipping the touch on the outside pole. This isn't the run she was hoping for today. Going round wide on the pole for 19. Yes, Rice. She's going to be annoyed with today. She's going to have to look back at it and try and think what she can do in the future to get better.
Well, there's 2 weeks for one of the top paddlers to put it together.
Yeah, to really review this race and look back at it. But that has not gone to plan. I think she's almost surprised with what happened there with herself there.
Alice Tiller is on form this weekend.
Yes, she is. She's been building from strength to strength. As you can see, she got a bronze medal at the World Champs last year.
Joanna, yesterday, 2 days ago, she was the fastest in the K1 qualification, second in the C1. Took the final of the K1, made it 9th. And let's see how she's going forward now. Really accomplished athlete.
Yeah, I think she's really looking forward for the home worlds that she's got in a few weeks' time in Rio. There's no better feeling than being able to race in your home country.
Which you've done in the 2015 Worlds.
Yeah.
Anyway, Anna Santilla so far, cheap penalty, but let's see how she goes on the split. 2 seconds off the pace, so very much in touch. You have about 9 seconds to play with.
Yeah, so I think we still see her make it into this final today. Just maybe a little bit low into 13, losing maybe a second and a half. But again, still in touch, still being able to make it through. You see, nice in at 14, really having that pretense set is the key for that breakout, and she delivered it well.
So far, Noemi Fox is in 9th, and Claire Jacquet is in 10th, with 2 athletes to go.
Let's see how it works out for Anna. Good breakout in 17. She's really challenging it on this course.
Looks really focused.
Yeah, see, again, these athletes always focus on the next skate, delivering what they can to the best they can, and trying to stay very present in the moment. Ooh, just a little bit on the back of the boat there, and he just, oh no, she's been awarded a 50-second penalty on 21.
Was that close?
It was close. I'll be honest, I thought it was on a risky position, but it was hard to say from the camera angle. But
well, they'll have a look.
Yeah, they'll have a study, and the new ICF system means we've got video judges analysing every penalty as they go down.
Mallory Franklin, world champion.
Great paddler, recently switched to the hype. She's always been a gala sport girl, but I think she's changed flavours a little bit, going away from the tracking boat and something that offers a bit more safety and turning speed. But great there through 7. Well, 16 driving into 7. Let's see how she sets up for this next skate. She's on good water there. In and out of 8. Good speed carrying around. She's gonna be wanting to challenge for that top place. I know Mallory, even for the semi-finals, she's more comfortable if she can be in the lead. Right. She always wants to be up on everyone.
Fair point.
0.6 up.
She certainly has the skill set. 2 Foxes have qualified for the final now.
Maybe just lost a little bit of time in 11 with that rotation, but good composure there in 11-12. You can see her just as sitting back, waiting for the boat to settle. She knew that she didn't need to do anything. She just needed to be patient.
And yesterday, Mallory took a bronze medal in the K1, so it's looking to be a very solid weekend.
Yeah, she's been developing a kayak over the past few years, really coming into her own in the discipline. The C1's always been her area to dominate, and she's on the charge today. Just been just under 2 seconds off the split we saw earlier. but very much in contention to make it to the finish.
So last athlete down. Claire Jacquet is on the bubble at the moment, and she's 10 seconds off. So Mallory is looking to claim one of probably the top 3 places to go into the final.
Nice solid composure there, driving through the gate, nicely through the middle. Mallory's on it for this run.
Yeah, it's going to be one of the top 2 or 3.
Yeah, good driving through to the finish. Let's see what she gets.
Second. Job done.
Yeah, she's going to be happy with that. Good run from Mallory there. That's into the top 10.
So we do have the top 10 athletes coming through. It's Jess Fox, Mallory Franklin, Nadine Ratching, Monica Dora, Viola Ruble, Luca James, Victoria Wolfhart, Teresa Fizarova, Alsu Mizova, Andrea Herzog, and Naomi Fox. So there's some real experience, and there's also some youth. It's going to be a lot of fun to see how that one works out. And as I've just mentioned, these are the athletes that we're going to be seeing in about an hour's time, about an hour and a half's time. And Jess Fox, frighteningly, is leading the ball at the moment. She's won all 4 World Cups so far. Can she make it the unique 5 in a row? And there's a real local interest in Monica Dora Villarubla, who is from Andorra but trains here. So really, right across the board, it's going to be strong. These are the athletes that just will have the regrets, just missing out. Have to fight back another day. So the 30 athletes came down, and we now know the top 10, and then we'll soon be moving on to the K1 men. Slow-mos, we're back on the action. Licey de Gale is where we're seeing ourselves in Spain, about 2.5 hours west up the hills from Barcelona, about 15 kilometers from Andorra. K1 men semi-final. 40 athletes are going to be going down in reverse orders. The first 10 will be athletes that had to go through the second heat. So there's some big names here which will be really annoyed because they won't have a chance to watch the other athletes through. And then we have the top 30. Everyone, to be fair, has a chance. Look at that. 40th place is Luba Hilgert, the son of the legendary Stepanka Hilgertova. And then we have Jan Jaske, who won last weekend by default, I suppose, because he was leading the heats when they had to call it a day in Tatsen. But through here we have lots of different nationalities too. Swiss, Duguid and Vero, it's good to see them. Next to Sebastian Schubert, who quite often wins the overall standings. So these are the athletes we're going to be seeing. Again, some real top athletes there. Bradley Ford Cryans, who's probably one of the most powerful athletes out there. Ben Hayward, maybe one of the exciting. Hannes Egner's had a quiet year, but could be one of the top few. And then we see the flying Spaniards, David Llorente and Samuel Hernandez. No one's faster than Samuel Hernandez on his day. And then Boris Nevu, who's had some good victories here. Yuri Priskovic and Yusin Delfour, not forgetting Peter Kauser. So they're all athletes that are really capable of flying. Vit Prinder's had an off week. He's been unwell. It's going to be interesting to see how he can come up. But these are the athletes, families and friends who are circulating, looking to come over the bridge. So the actual bridge is separated. There's Ricky Funk, who's looking maybe to come and see us a bit later. We'll see how athletes are managing this.
Yeah, I think we can expect to see some tight racing going on today. Everyone knows the course and sail like the back of their hands. All the athletes spend so much time here. It's going to be great to see what can go down.
Well, 31 years old now, from the dynasty, and clearly will be wanting to make him name for himself. He actually kicked out top athlete, I can't remember his name now, from the actual coming fourth in the Czech trials.
Yeah, I think the Czech selections this year are particularly tough and savage. With Yuri and Vit being pre-selected. Oh, no, it wasn't Yuri and Vit. It was Andre Tunka from his World Championship winning this. Yeah, it was Vabra who missed out. But Lubos on the charge. Good lines through 9, 10, 11. Yeah, he's on a good one so far. And nice punt there, keeping the speed coming out of 13.
You saw his box so
settled. Yeah, he's definitely on for a good run at the moment. In and out of 14. It's a really dig deep, work hard. And we're going to see how he goes through into the 17. Setting up the boat, hooking on the rudder. I think we might be seeing athletes taking a bit more risks there later on in the field. But for Lubos, very safe, very solid, in and out of 19. Actually, sets up these final few gates. I think he's definitely on a solid run here. And now, aim for the last gate, getting himself on the charge. He's going to put everything he can into this sprint to the finish.
It's going to be a lot of the experts, and there's lots of experts walking around here, are expecting a really, really close battle at the top.
Yeah, when you come to these semi-finals, I think you get a field of experts. It's so competitive to get in that everyone could put their mark and get themselves in the final when it comes to their day.
Oh, and it's interesting how Zeniatski is going to be approaching this, because he's had his debut victory last week. That's not taking away from it, but it was not in the final, was it? So he's a World Cup gold medal winner.
Yeah, I think you'll just have to look for that, for like building experience that clearly he knew he has the pace in him to win, even in qualifications, which led to the win in the end.
I'd say one of the most solid athletes on the tour.
Yeah, and he's 13th overall. It certainly shows he's been in there. Picking up a touch on 7 where he just turned that a little bit too early, but wrapping the pole nicely on 8. We'll see how much that penalty holds him back going into the split. Let's see, just a little bit off the pace of Lubos. Well, almost 5 seconds down, so he's certainly been punished for his mistakes in the top section of the course. And with the way, just falling onto his edge a little bit on 13, leading to being low and costing time. He's going to really work hard for the finish now. Good little sweeper on 14, getting it in and out of the gate. Almost 8 seconds on the pace. Today's not going to be his day for making the final, but he's going to do what he can. In and out of 17. That's the kind of breakout that I'm expecting to see as we go over this course. Maybe pushing this line.
It's not happening today, is it?
No, just coming in a little too tight into 19. You certainly have to look back at today and just try and think what happened, why did it go wrong, and try and build for the future.
Paddling through, but he knows it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I think it's just a attack to get the gates, but ultimately it's a bit of a cruise to the finish. Yeah, he's going to be disappointed today.
It's always good to see. And Navaldi, with Ettore, the father, is one of the most passionate about this sport. And the boys are coming through nicely.
Yeah, his dad is always welcoming, happy to say hi to whoever's around, and always taking pictures and sharing them.
Oh, that's close. Very close.
That is very close, certainly so top of the course. 50-second penalty added.
Had to be the whole head and had to be the boat, and we'll leave it up to the judges. That can be, but there's special dedicated cameras on the apps.
Yeah, Yeah, with that 50-second penalty put on so early on. I mean, he's probably not even going to be aware of it right now. He's just got focused on the job he needs to do, and he's going to be driving all the way down.
Although there are about 20 speakers put on the actual on the course side, although most of it's in Spanish. There was the odd words coming through in English.
I think the focus as well on the course makes it very hard to pick up on these things. Every now and again you might kind of find yourself paying attention, but a lot of the time when the athletes are in the zone, all they'll be aware of is what's ahead of them, and even then it's a strange moment where it's almost passive. You can finish the run and sometimes not be aware of even what you've done. You've just been there.
And then, but sometimes in some courses like Toyo in Prague, with the speakers shouting at you all the time, he's like, oh no, he's got a 50.
Yeah, you can't help but trying to. Well, you have to have your processes to keep yourself focused and to re-trigger back on. But Zeno today, that 50 has cost him dearly. Well, as it would for anyone.
There's no asterisk, so they will look at it again, but there's no problems at the moment. And the great thing is the judge will have plenty of time, because obviously it's the third athlete's go.
Yeah.
Does he know about the 50?
We'll see.
Yes, I think
so. I think he's not surprised by it.
Just one of the boys want to watch, Jan Crespo.
Jan Crespo.
Big day for him today.
Yeah, always pacey here in Laseo. Let's see, one of the Basque athletes based over near San Sebastian. But all the guys spend as much time as they can here in Laseo, especially the World Championships coming up next year with it being Olympic qualification.
There's just so much focus on the course, isn't it? With a lot of speaking to Sam, even Sam from your team, he said no, he's not going to wear because he wants to spend all his time here doing a course.
Yeah, the guys just wanted to try and absorb as much as they can. In the Irish team, we're hosting selection races in Laseo, where we're coming over to join in for one of the Catalan Cup race. It's engaging in that, but Jan Crespo in and out of 8. He's on the aggressive top section, but let's see how he is in contention with Lubos. Just up on the split,
and he knows when he can duck, when he needs to go through the middle, and when he can just subtly put the head through.
Yeah, and this course is all about subtlety, so they'll have experience everywhere.
That's what you do.
That was beautiful. Just look how the kind of boat was settled, just a little bit of downstream, just on the approach end.
There's no panic, is there? There's just putting the paddle in where you want to.
No, he just knows where he wants to be. He's got the line set up, and he's just delivering the plan. Almost a second up, and you can see him just settling down and being composed going into 17 so he can execute that breakout. This is some beautiful paddling going on from Jan Crespo.
And he looks so controlled on all the ups. It's just in, out, straight away.
Yeah, it's just so smooth running through. There's some beautiful paddling going on.
Now it's came to show the muscles.
Sprint to the finish. He's going to give it everything he can. 2.5 seconds up. He is happy with that.
He knows that's the fastest run of the weekend. And knows where the camera is.
Look at the crowd. I love a bit of showmanship at the end. Next up the course, we got Chris Bowers, one of the young guns from the British team.
Good season coming up. It's really stepped into the senior team with style.
Yeah, bit of difficulty early on in the season where his coach got quite ill in the build-up to Liptowski and had to work with Rich Hounslow instead of Gaz Wilson.
Yeah, but that's now, one of those things that you
have to just deal with.
Multiple world champion, it's not so bad.
Yeah, exactly. But he's definitely on the drive. Beautiful round 5, and straight out to 6. Oh, Chris is quite the powerhouse as well. It seems to be an emerging tradition amongst the British kayak men. They all will be benching around 120, 130 with no difficulty. And we can really see with how much he's moving the boat, pulling out of 8, driving into 9. How is he going to contend the split? Just off, but very much in contention. But it was on this bottom half of the course where Johan really put down his magic.
But the great thing about the Brits is if you don't make it in Canoe, you can always be a model, because obviously quite a few have actually converted across.
Yeah, Tom Brady making it, my previous crewmate Matt Lister really having fun on the modelling scene at the moment. But yeah, it seems like these guys have great connections. Unfortunately, I wasn't quite blessed with the same looks as those two, so I've not been able to make my mark.
1.57 off the pace, and Jan Crespo put down a blistering time.
Yeah. Chris is very much focused in this bottom section of the course. He's going to be doing everything he can. I think Oh, a beautiful break in there. Maybe just a little bit of stall on the exit at 19. He's going to be pushing, trying to get it all the way to the finish. This is where he's going to be putting down his power. Where his
This is
strength's
a really, really
shine.
solid run.
Yeah, beautiful run. Just a little bit down here, going into second. He's happy with it. I think he's probably more disappointed with the pace off the lead rather than his own paddling. I think his own delivery of his plan, I don't think he can fault that today.
Well, he's done it a couple of times, medalled in the World Championships. Matis Polacek, one of 4 brothers and a sister, at top level.
Yeah, it's great seeing him. Gregor Spolacek on the bank, sort of, again, coaching these days. Matthias, always a big threat. He's always been a big name.
And one of the only athletes allowed same name twice on his boat.
Yes, I suppose, yeah, with the added advantage of them. I think the dad decided that it was too expensive to be buying boats for all 4 of the brothers, so decided to start making his own. It's been emerging as quite a successful business right now.
About 120 kilometers away from Krakow is the factory.
Yeah, based up in the mountains. Matthias going into 8. Nice little sweep there, getting himself back in the film. Maybe just a little missed stroke hit it on. Mallory sitting up and getting the drives. Just look at his posture. He kind of shows the prowess and the physicality that these lads have.
Well, he's supposed to be the fittest Polacek, I believe. He's really. They do a lot of running. They do all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, it really shows in the paddling. Again, like I said, his posture is so upright, so in control. It just means that he can hack the physicality of this course. 14, nice little sweep there, in and out. 2 seconds off the pace. Yes, and he's going to have to look for them especially there, because again, it's on this bottom third is where Johan Crespo really put his mark down on the course.
But what we're going to see is
breakout.
some of the athletes, let's split it into 4 sections of 10 athletes. The first 10, some of these athletes are sort of top 10 in the world almost.
Yeah, I think almost all of these will have made a final or have been close to making a final. It just shows the depth in the field of the kayak men.
And so these are the athletes that had to actually go through the second heat.
Yeah, but to some extent I think I've heard being able to describe the second heat being the best practice you can have for a final. There's so much pressure going down on the run that, as you often find, a lot of big names don't make, and these guys have to really put something down.
So this is Pavel Igel, who is one of the top slalom cross athletes, which they're not having this weekend here. So he'll be able to concentrate entirely on this from Russia.
Yeah, Pavel Igel, another physical specimen on the course. Let's see what he can do now. He's been on the circuit for years. I remember his first medal being in 2008 at the, I think it was the under-23 Junior Europeans in Solkan. And since then, he's been definitely putting his mark down on the course. Driving down, good breakout on 5, really pacing it through on 6. Just see how he's moving that boat. Just maybe a little bit kind of having to readjust the tracking through 7, but back on the charge into 8, in and out of the breakout.
Nice.
That was beautiful. Let's see his charge through into 9, just up on the split. So he's in contention with the lead right now. That goes to show the quality of the paddling in that top third. Maybe just getting a little bit caught up into 13, where he had to readjust his stroke just to balance himself, and then catching the tail on the wall. But overall, still a very good breakout. It's not going to hold him back.
What's going to be the key for qualification of the men?
The key for the qualification is that risks are going to have to be taken somewhere. All these guys are going to be cutting lines wherever they can, because it's so competitive that you've got to go above and beyond to get yourself ahead of the pack.
So far, the top 3 athletes are Jon Crespo, Christopher Bowers and Lubat Hilger. They all went down in no penalties.
Yeah, it's already looking like a tight field. Pavel just cutting the line a little bit on 20, but nice through the middle and really putting on the power sprint to the finish. He's going to be just behind Johan, but down into 4th.
So, Reese Davis, what's going to be the cut-off time?
Oh, good question. I think I'll put up my prediction on, I think about 96, to be fair. I reckon they'll be around that mark. I know it's sort of early on, but we've seen some very quality runs, and Johan's run, I'm not sure there'll be much more time in there.
So Martin Stabenik now from Slovenia. Let's see how he's going to go.
So now just having to fight the battle back up on that wave. Not quite the ideal line going into 5, and that's costing fractions of seconds, which are going to be adding up as we go down the course.
Oh no!
Penalty on 7. Yeah, this is
No doubt about that.
I don't think even made it through. That's his race run over today.
So what's the rules there? You're allowed to go through as many times as you like.
Yeah, you can keep going down through the gates as long as you get your body and the boat, well, your head and the boat through the gates, then it's fine. I think the rules had changed from a few years ago, where if you'd gotten 50 on it once, that was it. But it's a nice breakout on 13.
So this is effectively over now. What about the technology? Where do you see that going? Because clearly there's, even if you have amazing judges and 5 camera angles, there's still some marginal decisions. Any thoughts on that? Do we need electronic pulses, or how are we going to go forward?
I think the idea that we have now of having dedicated cameras on some breakouts is definitely the way forward. It helps take away some of the doubts in these ups and making sure that we can be confident in our judges' decisions.
But
sometimes they do a good job concentrating all day, but of course it's a long day and it only takes a little bit of human error.
But then the other time is that there is a procedure where the panel, they don't know that they only know the number, and they look on the super slow motion. They can look at different angles. So there's actually a committee just for that. I'm just interested because it comes to the end of your chin, doesn't it? So if you have a big beard, is that part of your chin? Or?
Yeah, it's a tricky part. I mean, we might see it as an emerging trend.
Mathieu Bizizu, one of the fastest athletes on there, and sometimes can just put down an amazing run. Let's see how he goes for. And he's still in the running of the overall World Cup points. Last weekend, by default almost, I think he came 3rd in the heats, and so he was deemed to come 3rd in the medals. And let's see how he goes through.
Yeah, Bizizu is always a threat. It's one of the pole-based athletes, always quick and just glides the boat so well. Maybe just having to do a little correction there on 7, but as you can see, setting it beautifully for 9. Just that finesse around the breakout. And again, look at him starts sitting up.
He has a unique style.
He does have a unique style, but it's so beautiful to watch. Half a second off in the pace. He's very much in contention still. You can just see him setting up here, just getting the bow up. Beautiful punt there.
Was that a planned punt?
It'd be hard to say, but he took advantage of the situation he was in, that's for sure. That was in and out of 14. He's on the charge here. Let's see how he is. Just off Johan Crespo, but he's taken back some time because he's half a second down that first bit, and now just under a 10th. He'll be all the way to the finish. Beautiful on 17.
So the ups have been certainly mastered, haven't they? Minimal amount of time.
Yeah, he's been shown a masterclass of how to perform, and maybe just a little bit of stall on the exit of 19, but definitely still putting in a good job. Driving through to the finish. Last skate to go.
Now this is going to be maybe the reference time.
Let's see. Yeah, he's definitely pulling back some time in the bottom half.
Well, giving it a good run. Not 100%, but it's certainly up there. Joe Clark, Olympic champion, put on a couple of pounds of muscle this year, I think.
Yeah, he's been showing more. I think he had a little kind of stunt the other day where he lifted his body weight in Red Bull cans up for a pull-up. Definitely a powerhouse. Let's see what he can do here. Absolute stormer in his second qualification run on the Friday when he really needed it, and now he's taking confidence in the fact that he does have that pace and he can put it down to really rush down the rest of this course.
And knows he can put it down when it's under pressure.
Yeah, and he is great at dealing that pressure when it comes to it in the racing. Coming into 7. Oh, just a little bit low. He's going to have to work hard to get across the top of that, but he's going to power across regardless. In and out and driving through to gate 9 now. Let's see where he is on the pace, but I think he might just be a little bit down. No, he's up even. That shows me wrong. Maybe there's something to be gained in that low line going across to 8 through. Let's see how he sets up on this next gate. Nice punch. That was so quick. I think that was under a second there on that breakout. Pulling across for 14, and again in and out. This is a good run from Joe Clark.
Well, very much in the pace. 0.32 down.
0.32 down, but still charging for that win, and sweeping around the gates, ducking for the exit and pulling himself on and getting back on the charge into this last breakout. You can see how tight he's cutting it there.
What I like about Joe is he's always has a plan, doesn't he? Even 2 years before Rio, he had his vlogs doing Road to Rio, so he knows what he wants.
Yeah, he knows what he wants, and he's prepared to push hard to get there. Picked up a slight touch on that gate 20.
Oh, that could be expensive. That could be expensive. He knows it.
He knows it. Good quality paddling down from there.
That could be really expensive, though.
He would have just. I think he would have just slipped in second place without it, but he's going to have to wait for the end of the day now. I think.
So Nico Testin from Slovenia, and we have the King Cows are coming later.
Nico Testin, another great athlete, was competing out in the under-23 Euros in Bratislava. And he's one of them. All the big names emerging on this circuit right now. Coming through, let's see how he catches this wave, driving up into 5, in and out. That's a beautiful breakout there. Maybe just catching a little bit of the water on the exit of 5, but driving through into 7.
So 10 athletes have gone, 30 to go, and they're already bunching at the top.
Yeah, I think it just goes to show how tight it's going to be today. There's a lot hovering around in that 2.5 mark. Nico 1.4 seconds up on that first split. That is insane to find that kind of advantage out of everyone else, but it's up to him to keep it going. Maybe losing a bit of time at 13 there, so he's going to have to keep it together on the bottom half now.
It's a bit overcast, but it's perfect racing conditions. There's no wind whatsoever.
Yeah, I think all the athletes appreciate it when it's kind of like warm, cool conditions.
Are they ideal racing conditions?
Oh, for myself as a Brit, definitely. I love it when it's sort of where you could just about get away with choosing if you wanted to wear a jumper or not. That is perfect in my eyes. Nico here pushing through to the finish. He was just down on the previous split. I think he's still just about making it. Rotating a little bit, getting hit by that stopper on 20. Driving through to the finish. He's going to have to really work hard here. Into 3rd place. Yeah, it was all that error in gate 13 even that cost him the time.
Hey, Finn Butcher.
Finn Butcher had a great result at the Under-23 World Champs this year, finishing in 4th place just off the podium. And he's taken a lot of confidence of that.
Really determined. I watched him this morning, and he spent a long time on the bridge just absorbing the famous 12-13 move.
Yeah, I'll see how it pays off for him, but all these guys will be absorbing every little bit of information they can to really maximise their chances of being in the final. Great start so far for Pin. He's working with Pierre Labarelle this season, ex-C2 paddler, who really has so much depth and experience that's really passing on to these athletes. He's getting on the charge. Let's see how he's going around. 18.
That's about the limit, isn't it? You don't want to go much closer than that.
Exactly. Maybe just lost a little bit of time setting up on that breakout. It's shown in the split, but he can still pull it back if he gets onto it.
And obviously New Zealand, they have their own course now, which will help in all sorts of ways.
Yeah, they've got options now in the different venues to train at, which means it's becoming less and less of a disadvantage. They're not based over in Europe because they've got choices. They can have different water varieties across the country.
Well, 3 seconds off. It needs to really pick up the pace if it's going to have a chance of making the final.
Yeah, it's going to be a tight one for him now. Good on 17, but I'm not sure it's quite good enough to bring back that deficit. Really working in, pushing on the line into 19, but not quite enough turns set up, so you have to work hard to really swing it around. He's on the last drive to the finish now. He's going to sit up and work hard. You can see him getting on the drive.
Well, it's going to be difficult to see him making the final today, unfortunately.
Yeah, 5.5 seconds off. I don't think he's not going to be making it, but
the progression is good there. It's going the right way.
Yeah, definitely. He's coming on. I think again over the next few years we're going to be seeing him making a mark on the circuit. Martin
Halcyon, capable of the victory.
Yeah, he definitely is. Always a threat. The Starlights certainly have for the course, and with them, this course is very similar in its design to Liptovsky. I think they had the same course designer
It sort of was, wasn't it? Because it's Andrei Sivak. He had a, well, it's mainly, I was speaking to the Grane brothers, and it's Ramon who, in 88, 89, said this is the large line, but Andrei Sivak, who obviously put towards Liptovsky, he had quite a good input as well.
Yeah, and you can see that almost the trademark of them, the boulders that put into the concrete inside of the course. That seems to be his mark on these things.
And what we're seeing this year is from the reason maybe a lot of athletes are struggling 12, 13 is they put some new boulders there to make it here you go, to make it a bit narrower, so the water's a little bit faster here.
Yeah, and the water's also flowing a lot more towards the left than it used to. It used to have more of a central flow, so it's making it a bit trickier there. But it's played up for Martin Alchin, took advantage of it and running straight away through the course. 1.97 seconds off the pace. Really had to keep it together, really deliver on the bottom section now to keep in contention.
What I was talking about a few minutes ago is the first 10 to go. Some of those will have chances of qualifications because they missed the first run, and in their second heats they had to put it down. And these athletes, they just scraped through in the first run, so they're perhaps not as on form, if you understand.
Not quite, but again, I think they're still just as capable as anyone else. It might not have just gone to plan them in the qualification. All these guys are very, very quick.
Only 10 will go through from the 40. So far, Mathieu Biazizu, who didn't have a perfect run but put down under 94 seconds. Juan Crespo looked really good. Nico Testen, Joe Clark had a staggeringly good run but had a 2-second penalty with Christopher Bowers just next. And it's the Swissy, it's Martin Dugu, who's really, well, always been good, but he's progressed a lot in the last couple of years.
Yeah, he's been looking great on the water at the start of this week.
Always looks desperately happy.
Yeah, which is a good trait to have in canoeing. He's been put into a training group with Thomas Kochlin, I think they're both based over in Pau, and just taking advantage of the great venue and facilities they have over there.
Also from the Geneva Club.
Great bit of work on this top section,
and fairly frequently we see him in the top 2 or 3 in the heats, so he's certainly capable of putting down the staggering runs.
Yeah, of course.
Well, look at that, 0.36 up.
He is on the charge at the moment. This bottom section is where time can be made and time can be lost. There's still a lot of work to be done, but it's great.
He has to work with the water, doesn't he? Because he's quite light.
Yeah. And it just kind of shows how much he can. He's floating. He's very delicate paddler, but very dynamic.
That's good. Got a good kick off the water.
Yeah. 0.2 off, but still in contention. Let's see what he can do in 17. Safer style of upstream there, keeping all the bow rudder, but loaded at his edges, got loads of speed in out of the gate. And into 19, great hit upstream again. Just the final few gates to finish now.
Has he got the strength? Well, it looks like an almost faultless run.
Let's see how it goes. Driving through into the finish. Oh, he's happy with that. That's great to see. Maybe a little bit gutted with something, clearly. But I had to retract my statement earlier about 96 in the final. It seems like 94 is where it's at.
Andrei Malek.
Underestimated the pace of these guys.
Just like, yeah, let's see how he goes. So most of the guys are having not too many problems. Well, a bit of a stumble there. Don't seem to have too many problems at the top of the course.
No, I think again because they all know how competitive it is, they've had to put as many hours of studying into this course as they can to make sure that everything is delivered to the best of their capabilities. Malik there, as we saw, just a little bit off track going into gate 2, getting back on the charge for the rest of the course. Set up the sweep nicely on 8. And it's becoming the standard for the upstream for these guys right now today. You see how he is on this pace, 1 and a bit seconds of the course, which means
some of these athletes will have already had a chance to study the first few athletes down and also really perhaps change or identify something with the coaches.
Yeah. Oh, picking up this on 13. Yeah, a lot of them will be
That could be painful. The top 4 athletes are within a second of each other.
Yeah, and as you saw, he's already a second up, down on the top split and 4.5 seconds off by now.
It's not going to happen, is it?
No, he's not going to be making himself into the final today. That's for sure. But he's still going to be charging on, trying to get the best as he can on the rest of this run. Because every bit of this course is a learning opportunity for the Worlds next year, where the great big Olympic qualification is going down, where these athletes will all be trying to compete for the top 18 nations.
Is that how it works? So each category has a different amount of athletes, a different amount of countries go through, because clearly in the, well, he's not going to make it. No. Clearly in the Olympics, there's only going to be 1 athlete from each nation. But it's not as simple as that, is it?
No. So I think it's, for kayak men, it's the top 18 nations get a place in the World Championships next year, whilst for the, I think for kayak women as well, whilst for the C1 class it's top 11.
Top athlete Lucas Vero from Switzerland again. Let's see how he's going to. He's come out of the C2 with his brother.
Using that experience to really help him down and hopefully provide a little bit extra power. Lucas Vero is definitely a quick paddler on his day. In and out of 5. Let's see how he goes on the rest of this course. Nice line through 6, creating himself a little bit of width of 7. Slowing it down just so he can get his turn on and really driving it into the back of. Oh, picking up a penalty on gate 8. That's, as we've seen with how tight it is at the moment, that's going to be costly on the way down. Ducking and diving around these gates, but nice tight aggressive lines. It's unfortunate about that touch because his pace is on the ball. I think it was 2.2 down, but with that penalty, it's just 0.2 of a second off the course. Setting up beautiful sweep around 14. He is on the charge right now.
Well, he has to be. He's 3 seconds off. That won't make it.
No, unfortunately. He's going to be delivering everything he can on the course. Oh, just slipping a little bit on his rudder there. On 17, costing time all the way down. There we go. Nice little break out there just to get yourself a little bit back. Yeah, some aggressive ducking. Oh, the water just pushing him a little bit out of the way on the way into 21. 122 and then just driving through to the finish. I'd say he's maybe a bit too far left away from the flow and taking along the line. 4 seconds off, and yeah, he knows it wasn't good enough today for him. Next, of course, Sebastian Schubert.
So he is, look at that, twice the World Cup Series winners. Had a good year this season. This needs to put it again. He's one of the, certainly can have a medal.
Oh, for sure. We can also see he's paddling on these new ultra elite spec boats from Vader, where it's got a thicker weave, and I think he's even got a bit of titanium in the build, where it's a lighter, more solid construction than what the others are offered, and of course a bit more expensive as well. But with these top guys, this is what they need to invest in to get down. Beautiful there on the top of the course, running through and opting for that running line, very similar to what Joe Clark took. An aggressive sweep and putting himself into the flow, driving through on that side of the course.
Look at that, 0.2 up so far, Sebastian Schubert from Germany.
Yeah, it goes to show, I think a lot of the athletes will be studying what these guys are doing in the top section and really kind of analysing that. I think in the finals we're seeing a lot more athletes taking that low line into 8s because it seems to offer so much extra pace. Of course, there is the extra risk as that flow fluctuates and moves around so much. That's not always an option.
Oh no!
Oh, just getting drawn upstream just a bit too much on 14. The water catching him, and that's cost him.
This goes all over.
Time. Yeah,
1 2 second problem there. Although it's clean, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's all it takes. Just one little bit going off plan, and
there must be the frustration. He knew it was over.
Yeah, and just pushing it a little bit too hard there. Try and bring it back. Poor Schubert. No. Going to plans there, and again I'd say put out just a little too tight there. Squeezing his lines too much at the finish. That's it all went wrong.
No, he knows it. He knows it.
Yeah. This sprint to the finish is for his pride of finishing it. Oh, not a happy chappy. You see, you can almost hear those knocks bellowing through the.
Right, just below us. Just below us. Kazuki Izawa. Well, he'll be able to control his emotions.
I believe this is the athlete who got attention from practicing as a monk while still in training.
Exactly.
Brilliant to watch on the course.
And clearly with Tokyo Games coming up, he's going to have more and more media attention. Let's hope he can pull it together today.
Yeah, let's see how it goes down. Great at the start. And the rest of the course is still to come. Maybe just pulling out, getting caught by the water, going a bit too far out on 6. But still on the charge into 7. He's got to work hard for the rest of the course.
And that's the thing, is if you spend so much energy at the top.
Yeah, it becomes a very tactical game of how you want to spend it here and there. Do you want to take the risk and push as much as you can on the top, or do you want to save it for the bottom half?
But very much in touch there, 1.6 off. But to be fair, the top 4 athletes all within a second. We've now had 17 athletes to go, so 23 more to go.
I think he might be just a little too slow so far, but again, he's been doing what he can to get as much learning in for the course. Just a little bit too swingy on the gates, didn't quite have his pre-turn set up enough and veered out to the outside pole. He's set up for 17. Solid, safe breakout. In and out.
It's solid, isn't it? But it's not fast enough to actually to make it, unfortunately.
No, I think he's going to have a bit of questioning of whether or not he needs to become more comfortable taking risks, because it's just not saving time in the places where he can. So a lot of these guys will be taking risks wherever it's given an opportunity to do so. And Izawa Kazuki just 6 seconds off the pace. Not good enough for the final today.
Igor Suziet. Let's see how our first athlete from Ukraine can go. Good dynamic
acceleration,
start.
yeah, I was going to say that. He moved the boat there. He's got some power on him. There you go. Maybe just losing a bit of track going into 2, but very
Really
much on the charge again.
Because at the top there's like a big holding lake almost, I suppose, isn't it? A very long channel.
Interesting option there, going for the spin on gate 4 miss. Seemed quick enough. For the C1 man yesterday, the spin was just as quick, if not quicker than the forwards. So it's interesting seeing the kayaks taking this on board, because there's a bit, I'd like to say a bit more ego, but that's my own bias as a canoe paddler coming in. But Igor picked up a 2-second penalty in gate 3, costing him time.
Not too far in his pure time off the course.
No, I think that goes to show kind of the validity of the spin as an option on 4 or 5. Just a little bit off the time again, going into 13. Let's get back on the pace. Seems like he's composing himself through this section now. Oh, that's bound, just bearing. Yeah, this. No. As you can see, that time is bleeding away, and he's 6.5 seconds off the pace. Just over 6.5. And
amazing first 2 seconds there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he can definitely be proud of himself that he knows he can be on the charge where it's on the ball. But just you got to be so clinical with your delivery of the plan, especially here in Sao. You see little mistakes cost big time, and these guys are just.
It's not Davis. I'm going to ask you again. I'll ask you every 10 athletes down. What's going to be the cutoff?
Cutoff. Well, I've changed my mind now. I'm going to put it onto the. I'll say 94.5. 94.5.
Matthew Biazizu. Do you think he'll go through? He's so far the fastest.
I think he will. That was a blistering run from him. I think it'd be hard to find much more time. Alan, why turn around? What do you think the quickest time will be today, Matthew?
Don't ask me. It's Quentin Baggy here.
Quentin Baggy, great character from the Alsace region of France. I think he's fluent in German, French and English, and just always has a smile on his face and always ready to go. Had a bit of drama earlier this year within the federation and the coaching situation, but he's been granted permission to work with it for a bit. And then for Longo's going into the World Champs. And it's been a little boost of confidence for him.
Then we of course have Boris Nevu, who is going to be the last to go.
Yeah. Oh, Quentin just getting that bad water. The wave wasn't where he wanted it to be going into 8, so he's taking that risk of that lower line, but it hasn't paid off, and I think it's going to cost him dearly in the top section. 1.7 seconds off.
Though. It just shows he's making errors, but still really in touch with Matthew Biazizu.
Yeah, but it's going to be hard to bring that 1.7 off, and I think it's going to be too much of it, and just falling off the edge. You can see he was leaning a bit too much on well, leaning too much upstream in that middle section. It's just a fine balance while surfing that wave. And just a little bit off of 14 as well. That is not going to plan for Quentin. 4.8 down. Oh, just gutting Sim. This bit far off.
So it's moving down. We've now had half of the athletes down, so 20 to go. And Matthew Biazizu is sitting in first place with a time of 93.92. You can see there. Juan Crespo, Teston and Lugo are looking better all the time.
Yeah, compliment they might be making there. Oh, Quentin fawning his edge there.
It's too many little errors.
Yeah, little errors costing plenty of time. And he's veering out too far into the eddy on the sprint to finish as well. He's not happy with that. He looks knackered as well, and this course is really running in him.
It's better to give it you all. You see there's a holding at the top. Some athletes are just, there's a little water jet.
With the caddy sponsorship as well, the dairy that's based around here in Laseo. Always been a key supporter of these World Cups over here and the Spanish team. Adachi just cutting the line a little bit too much on 2 and costing him time where he had to re-accelerate. We'll see how he goes on in the rest of the course. So in and out of 5.
So Japan will have a reserve place in the Olympics.
Yes,
so it's almost like an internal battle.
Yeah, the host nation always gets given a reserve place, but I think they'll still want to do the best they can so they can feel comfortable going into the games. Just not quite the perfect delivery on gate 8.
Have you heard much about the Japanese course?
I've not actually. I just don't know. A few paddlers got invited out to do a training camp. I think it was this winter or last winter. I'm not sure if it was in the actual Olympic course itself, but they got to experience Japanese culture and they all really enjoy themselves, and I think everyone's excited about the games.
Well, coming down so far, 3.33. So we do see, unless it's amazing, it's not enough.
No, I think it's not going to be his day today, and not enough pretem there. You see his bounce downstream coming into 17, and to work hard to pull it up and around. It's just bleeding more time as he's going through. Into 18, just a little stall again. Unfortunately, he's just losing time all the way down these last few upstreams. Let's see if he goes.
Well, there's a tight decision as well.
Yeah, I don't think it paid off.
No.
99.
Moves into 12th rank.
Yeah, no final for him today. Who have we got next on the course? Felix.
We've got some real flyers coming up.
Yeah.
Post-march from 19 years old still.
Junior world champion last year. Certainly one that knows how to race under pressure. It's great to see someone so young sort of making it into the semis in the K1m field as well. Good little jump there. Really driving hard and up into gate 5. Will he get it around the sweep? Yes, he does. Oh, just clipping the exit. Just
expensive. I think it's going to be still fast though.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see what's going on in the split when he reaches it.
No, that's going to cost him.
Yeah, I was just thinking.
Illusions. It's
yeah, I was just thinking that he was setting his turn just a little bit too early, approaching it, and it's clobbered into the pole. You see, he's really cutting over. It's a quick pace though. Forced. Without his penalties, he'd be just off, so he can take a bit of pride knowing that he's there. But no, his delivery's not quite been on in terms of cleanliness. The punt just a little bit low on 13. No, it's fine his way on 14. Good around there. That tricky stopper breakout. But 6 seconds off the pace. No, there'll be no final for Felix today. But
oh no, they're stacking up.
Yeah, I think that was probably a decision based on the fact that previous errors gone down. He may as well take some risks lower down. Nice looping breakout on 19. Good line through to 20. It's just these final he gets to getting caught out, hitting his tail on the rocks and losing his edge. Just more timing cost. 50 on gate. No, that's taken away just a bit of an error there in the system. But
no,
almost 10 seconds off. Not enough for today.
Right, let's see how they're coming on today. There's an asterisk next to his name.
Might be the debate on that 50 that kind of popped in and out. Matthew Mador, all racing to go on the top of the course. Very quick, very dynamic French paddler. His Instagram feed is full of.
We haven't seen much of him on the international scales of that.
No, he's not quite been able to translate his success from French selection onto the international circuit. Just diving a bit too much around 2, and it cost him time. And he'd been awarded a 50 so early on as well. That is. Oh, he's going to be gutted about that. Otherwise,
it was always close though, wasn't it? When
yeah.
you saw his head.
Like, it cost him time. Even they just caught out by the water and had to react to what he was given. But he's going back on the drive again, losing just a little bit of time coming around 8. He has to dig deep to accelerate around this course now. Let's see where his raw pace was off. We're going at 50. So yeah, I guess it was again the time lost on gate 2. Sets up with the rest of it. Oh no, capsize. It's a quick roll though, still managed to get himself in the at least in the eddy, so he's minimised the time lost there. But I think now is going to be it's going to be just a case of preserving his honour and just doing a good run for the.
So the water, under the water. I know when it's really muddy water and you can't see anything. There's a few rocks you just have to know where they are because you can't see them.
I mean, ignorance is bliss has always been my approach for the rocks underwater. I mean, you accept there might be some there, but you're taught from a young age that when you roll, you want to duck forward so that you're protecting your face, and like the helmet will take the hit on the back of your head, and the buoyancy will do as much as can to protect your back. But yeah, the game plan is generally to roll up fast. The other interesting part of when you capsize, your body's acting like a big anchor, a fin, and the flow just catches it. It'll drag you downstream quite dramatically. And again, it goes to show him how well he did. He still get his line into gate 13. Hans Zeiger. You know? Yeah,
one of the strongest athletes out there, and could do some amazing stuff.
Yeah, bronze medal in 2012 in the Olympics. He's really a contender in this course. Good lines through the top section, very dynamic, very powerful. Maybe just a little bit lower on his turn on 4, but in and out of 5, and really working hard to accelerate away from the gate. Let's see how he comes in on this down the eddy. Interesting that he took a bit more depth into 7 so he could set up more time. And just created a bit more speed on his exit.
That will be down to coaching.
That will be. That will be a tactical plan. It's just these subtle differences you'll see between all the paddlers.
Well, look, less than a second out of touch, but he needs that. Yeah. German running down already.
I'm sure if it makes it into the final, they'll be analysing all the video and trying to see actually what if that was the most appropriate choice, or do they need to change the plan. But right now he is on form.
That was really good.
But
coming back well, still within a second.
Yeah. He's going to have to work on the bottom half. Are we going to see anything special in 17? Because I think he needs to be ducking and diving around it. And beautiful. Nice little sweep there. And that's exactly the kind of risk taking I think that's going to be necessary for making the final today. Nicely cuts around in that last breakout. Really keeping the speed moving. And now just the last 2 gates to go. Bound knocked up a little bit there. Cost him a bit of time.
Needs to really go for it there because it's desperately tight grouping in the top.
Yeah, he's on the charge.
5th. Well, in theory, it's going to be close, but so far they are really grouping. There's now 5 athletes in a second. So he goes into 5th so far. Mathieu Biazizu is looking good. Jan Kesko, Nico Testan, Martin Duguid, Hannes Egner. Next is Jay Clark and Chris Browse for the Brits with Lucas Hilger. Ben Hayward, you want a house? This is your man.
Yeah, he's
from Canada again. Really dynamic start.
Dynamic athlete, and dynamic in his architecture. He's been working on his project of making, I think, small homes. I can't remember his actual term for it, but they're beautiful works of art. What he can do.
Well, here he is. Seriously, he took advantage of having some operations, had some injuries that he needs to get out of the way.
Yeah, and it's great to see him back on the circuit, because coming back from any injury takes a toll, but for a lot of guys as well, gives them inspiration and gives them opportunity to work on any of the weaknesses that may not normally get priority. So we heard Kauser say he thought his injury was the best thing that happened to him in terms of his career. Well, and let's see if Ben's taking it on board. 0.2 off the pace.
He really broke through about 3 years ago in Tatson, making the final. Likes it there. not a chance last week to show him what he could do in the later stages, but looking good so far today.
Yeah, no, some good breakouts in and out of 14.
You're really seeing him setting him up there.
Yeah, he did. Maybe just got a little bit stalled on the exit, which cost him time. 1.28 off. That's possibly a little too slow at the moment, but he's still got the last 3 breakouts on the course to go. Nice sweep, good power around on 17. Really drive to the finish. Let's see what we can do in this last upstream. Oh, just a little bit too much rotation at the start and really climbed to
another couple of seconds there.
Yeah, plenty of this. It's going to be too expensive for him today. Just shame, 'cause, yeah, such a good plan going on. I think I can see a pole swinging upstream as well. I don't know what we got on there.
So nearly there, but not quite. Another 2 seconds. No, not so. No, he has regrets.
Yeah, really lost in the bottom bit of the course there.
4 really dynamic athletes in a row, and it's Mallory Leitner now.
Yeah, lots of big names coming down the course now.
And as you can see, even at a very young age, has Olympic experience.
Yeah, it just goes to show them the depth going on in the field today. Mallory Leitner, great start. Maybe just a little bit wet coming there. Oh, I think he just caught his blades on the rocks. But in and out, good sweep and good exit. And powering across into gate 6. Let's see how he handles this down the eddy. He's obviously that risky in between line, but the flow was in his favour and he managed to get it in there. That was quick. We just got to wait for the drive into gate 8. I think it's just up as well.
It is quick, look at that.
Yeah, I think that just goes to show him he was so nice in that 7 to 8 line.
Crucial under the bridge. Dropped low.
Yeah,
1,
he was just
2, 3. It's going to be over.
Time lost. He was just set up a little too far on the right hand side, which meant that he couldn't expose enough of his boat to stop us. He didn't get the grip that he needed. And he's here in 14, just a little too sliding out on the outside pole.
So going from slightly up to out of the game in just 1 move.
Yeah, I think you were right on the ball in that 3 seconds lost there. In and out of 17, good breakout, but I think he's lost himself too much time already. Now for the drive in, last upstream, beautiful up, to be fair to him. That's the last bit of the course to go, ducking off just a little bit too much off 21, losing more time again, but he's up on the sprint. He's going to have to just keep driving for the finish.
No, not going to happen. Well, 14 athletes to go. So the top athletes are going to start having to prepare.
Yeah, Jakub Briga next to the course, another Red Bull athlete, Slovak young gun.
Look at that, 216 and 217 under 23s.
Yeah, definitely can race under pressure when it matters. And he's always got some beautiful boat designs on the go. Quite funky this time with the red, white, and blue with the Slovak flag coming through in there. The mishmash pattern. He's driving away. Oh, just a little bit lower there, and he's having to work hard to catch the wave. That's already
Probably,
yeah.
I think he's one of those athletes that's capable of pulling it back there. If anyone can, he can.
Yeah, and he's got all the rest of the course where he can take risks and he can do what he needs to. Through 8, nice breakout. Maybe just he could have gotten the acceleration a little bit sooner, but this has been getting possibly too critical.
Wow.
0.4 off, so he's done well to absorb that error at the top. Let's see how he sets up here. Maybe just a little bit of our rotation coming into 13, which lost him some speed. Not the best we've seen, but still solid. Beautiful round 14 though. Let's see how he is on this next split. He needs to be within, a second and a half.
Can make it up there. We need to be within a second really to book yourself a place.
Yeah, 17 is the next breakout where it can be done. Maybe just a little bit, played it too safe there.
Still looks in control though, still looks measured. Jakub Grigar, 14 athletes to go, only 10 qualify for the final here in Laseo.
Yeah, it's going to be tight, and I think it's not going to be his day for the final today. But we'll have to see what happens. Still driving through.
10th at the moment is in 97.
Jordan's the 9th. He knows he lost time. BFC, Bradley Forbes Crines.
Looking strong this year.
Yeah, no, he's really really had a good year. He's just started working with Rich Hanslow, former rival of his in the K1m circuit in Britain, but now his coach and mentor. Good power at the start. See how he's moving that boat. Brandy's quite the character on the scene, enjoys socialising with all the athletes and just getting to know you. He's a real friendly, chatty guy.
From Scotland, it was an instant hit as a teenager.
Yeah, really powerful as a junior athlete. It's working away. Good sprinter there. Really putting, again, powerhouse through the course. In at 7 and really working hard to get himself into gate 8.
Joe Clark at the moment is in 6th place, 2.37 back.
In and out, and Bradders is on the sprint.
Look at that, 0.31 up so far.
Nicely done. Let's see how this next curl move goes. Really set up. Oh, just a little bit low.
2 seconds off again.
Yeah, that's gonna cost him going to the next split, but he's working hard. You can see him grimacing whilst pulling on the strokes. Nice little sweep around 14. Pulling down. Yeah.
Well, 2 seconds, he's safe from he's in there really. Just needs to pull something out special at the end.
Yeah, let's see how this breakout goes. Nicely done. That's going to help bring him back. He can like claw back time.
Are there 2 seconds to make up at the end?
I'm not sure there is, but I have to say there's probably about a second in there. Solid up there.
It's
this
really
last few gates.
Perfect last 20 paddle shakes.
Yeah, this is where Biozizu really did well. Maybe just rotated a little bit too much on 22, but he's going to work hard, really put everything he can to cross the finish. Oh.
Ouch.
Yeah, it was all in that gate 12 and just a little bit 21-22 costing time. Erik Holmer here, Swedish paddler, 7th of the under 23 world champs in 2016. Let's see what we can do today.
Good start. Bit different style from the powerful Brits.
Yeah, but still some physicality going on. And they probably see just a bit more focus on being delicate here and there. Pushing away. Oh, just rotating. That's a bit too much time being lost on the approach in 6. Let's see how he handles gate 7. He's having to work away. Just possibly a bit too much through the eddy coming into 8. He's back up on the charge and really sprinting into 8-9. See how he is on the split here.
Yeah, very much in touch. Look at that. Only a quarter of a second back and 12 athletes to go.
Yeah, key move coming up. If he can hold himself in contention, he's going to be happy. Nicely done there. Oh, punting himself just a little bit too upstream rather than across and time being lost.
How do you see the water today? Is it consistent?
I think it's consistent as it's going to be. Sail's not too bad in its fluctuations, but there's just a few key moves where it does change. The key one being 7 to 8 at the top and between 1 and 2, but the rest of it seems to behave. Also, the athletes don't need to think too much on their feet. They can just have their plan in mind and go with it.
Well, we saw him just over 2 seconds off and he's a bit slow there, so it's not going to happen for K1m for Sweden today.
Yeah, just ducking a bit too much there. Penalty in gate 2, a bit too tight in 21. Yeah, 50-second penalty there. Let's see how it goes on to the finish. He's going to drive everything he can, but it's not good enough today.
Down to the last 10 athletes. So these are the fastest 10 from the heats. Thomas Berzinger representing Argentina. Knows more than anyone about the water quality. PhD in water quality. So let's see how he goes. A local born and bred representing Argentina.
So he goes on. He's definitely got the know-how. He's got this PhD in water quality. Of course, you see he's also paddling on their pelagic boats. Coming a bit more into popularity with the other athletes on the circuit now. In and out of 5. Moving on. See on his helmet as well, he's got the Kaiki in P, where it's a local training group based in Pole, where they all work together to try and get the most and progress through the sport without necessarily the need of a national federation.
So it's been going for quite a few years now, hasn't it? It seems to be really, really going well. Good.
Yeah, it's a good little project, and it's something that...
Look at that, 4.45 seconds up so far.
He's on a good one. Yeah, it's a project that a lot of guys, I think, inspires a lot of nations, but it's getting the know-how and getting that passionate group together is what's needed. And Bersinger is definitely passionate. driving through, coming into 14. And again, nice breakout.
Well, pulled back a little bit. He's lost so he's now 1.2 seconds off the pace.
Yeah, he's going to have to really deliver here on 17. In and out. Maybe just stalled a little bit on the exit, but might still be in contention.
Oh,
No, just...
What happened there?
I think he just put a bit too much on his left jump in and just a bit too far over, so he rotated upstream and then...
It's all gone wrong now.
Yeah, he's having to cut the lines too fine on those last two gates. Just bleeding time.
It shares, isn't it? One slight error throws it all out and puts you into, what, 17th place?
Yeah, you got to really be able to keep your focus all the way down.
Now the Spanish athlete, eyes closed, concentration, David Lorente.
One of the great athletes. As you see, silver medal at the World Champs, the Under 23 World Champs 2015. Ranked 34th at the moment in the ICF system. Let's see how he goes down. Just not quite getting the flow that he wants through 1 and 2, but he's still in the charge, he's still in contention. Nice line there, very much on the 80 line, but kept it running in and out, and he is pushing on.
So you can, I suppose when you're used to doing it at Lee Valley, when you have the home crowd and the speaker on your favour, is that something that drives you forward?
I think it's, again, on a kind of personal basis, but personally I loved it. Even kind of any noise, any crowd going down, it's the buzz of the racing. David Lorente 1.19 seconds up on that on the first split. Onwards for the rest of the course. Let's see how he sets up. Beautiful use of the curl there, in and out. Really hugging the inside pole, didn't need the punt. Let's see if that was quicker or not.
And we're seeing the similar time to Juan Crespo. They don't look hurried, do they?
No, they can just compose what they need.
Know exactly what lines to take, and he's 0.9 up. Could it be the first under 93 seconds?
Let's see. It's a beautiful run, that's for sure. Beautiful round 17. Let's see how it comes in the last breakout, setting up. Really composed in and out.
Look at it. We have another finalist coming through. We still
look at.
Could be the first finalist. We saw Matthew Biazizu with 10 athletes to go.
He's on the charge. Finish. This has been a great run from David Lorente. Oh, just off the lead, but
well, not physically, but probably Matthew Biazizu books his place in the final.
Yeah, I think
he's happy himself.
He's happy himself. If he makes it through the final, they'll definitely be studying the bottom half of the course, seeing where he can make up time.
I remember going back 5 or 6 years now, and Samuel Hernandez, I think he had a double fault or 4, but he's just flew down the course, and one of the fastest athletes, the local boy.
When it goes right for him here, he's quick.
This is the reference. Let's watch and see if he can put it together today.
You can see on the helmet, there's another Basque athlete spaced around the San Sebastian area. Powering through. He's so dynamic on this course when he gets it right. Cheeky line there, just clipping the side of the stopper on his round 6. Being composed and getting ready to power away into this gate 8. Beautiful. Set up so early that by the time he was actually coming around the gate, he was burning back downstream again. Powering through 9.
Yeah, and half a second up on this, but this is what we expect though. So Matthew Beards is qualified, David Laurentiis on the bubble, Juan Crespo is probably going to the next one as well. So it's going to be looking good for the Spaniards.
Yeah, as I say, we're probably going to see at least, this is almost seeming like he's going to guarantee a Spaniard in the final right now. Oh, just a little bit off on 14.
It's going to be a battle here, isn't it? 1.25.
Yeah. Time to see if we can bring it back, I think. There's a bit of time they can pull back on 17. We can, maybe just a little too conservative there. Not really nice, but this is a section where Biaziza really put it down and really dominated on 1926. He's going to have to be special here.
At the moment, the 10th place is 96 with Jakub Grigar, but second, if you do anything under 94, you're going to qualify.
Let's see. Oh, just off. Yeah, there's that bottom section of the course, playing it too safe on 17 and time being lost on 14.
But they're always good news. David Llorente, so there is a Spaniard in the final.
Yeah.
Darius Popiella, 33 years old. We have some youngsters qualified. Let's see if we can have a more mature gentleman qualify.
Yeah, Darius Popiella has been busy on a side project this year, restoring an old Jewish cemetery not too far from his home that was had some damage during World War II. So Darius is quite the guy. Beautiful paddling. Always a powerhouse. Again, one of the real fit athletes on the Polish team, which is full of, again, physically fit guys. Darius is famed for always being one of the quickest on the top half, where he can absolutely hammer it down. Let's see how he's going. Good setup.
Down to the last 7 athletes now, so this is where we expect to see the flyers.
You just see how much he moved the boat. Navigate 7 into.
Look at that, 0.74 up.
Yeah, it just shows the power of his acceleration. Setting up, you can see his patience as a composer, but just landing too heavy in his blade, falling on and going low. He's having to work hard now.
Taking a deep breath and saying, come on, you can jet.
Yeah, just...
He's lost a couple of seconds here and there, hasn't he?
Yeah, it's almost a bit of the kind of relief in this course that you have to slow it down, you get a chance to breathe, setting up for these technical moves. It's only physically, mentally, of course, it's draining all the way down, but he's pushing through. Really trying to get the most out of every stroke.
Rhys Davis on the commentary, and the interest is that 2 of the Brits are still in it. Joe Clark 7th, Christopher Bauer 8th, but with 7 athletes to go, it's going to be a nervous last few minutes.
Yeah, Darius he's not really contending for that lead, but he might just make it towards where he needs to be. 97, into 14th. Too much time lost in the bottom section of the course.
All big names to come. Giovanni Di Gennaro is had a big, powerful winter with the Momenti regime coming in. They're all putting on muscle. Let's see if he can really turn it in to do the run that he'd like to do.
He had a great season in 2016, so he's definitely a contender from this international circuit.
Won on Leipzig last year.
So he goes in and out, catching that wave.
A big man, but likes to use the water.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of the Italian way. They love just to focus on getting as much as they can, but possibly more of a balance between physicality and water use. It's always interesting between nations, the different focuses and the different ideals they see in paddling. The Italians are certainly very balanced in their approach.
Well, look at that, it's up.
7,
what we
4.
need though is the speakers not saying, wow, they're up, which is would give them the real boost.
It would, but at the same time they need to focus on their own job and not on anything else. If they're confident in their plan, they should know that it would be good enough to put them into the lead.
It's a really cautious approach there. Where's he going to be? Slightly down, 0.7 off the pace. That would be okay.
Yeah, still put him in contention. He's going to just keep driving. Clearly some reviewing to be done later about where he's lost time in that 13-14 section. In and out of 17. Let's see how he goes into this last breakout. Beautifully done. Real nice calm and speed.
All he has to do is really keep it clean. Yeah. We haven't seen any athletes stumble on the last few gates, which is good.
There's been a few half
incredibly tight though, isn't it?
Yeah.
At the end, this should be okay.
Let's see how he goes in the sprint to the finish. Oh, 7th place, just going ahead of the Brits, but
well, we so far officially have 4. We have Matthew Biazizu, David Laurenti, Juan Crespo, and Nico Teston have qualified. So there's only a few athletes. Vit last year was amazing. This week he said he's been ill, he hasn't been feeling good, he has a sore throat, but he's still one of the world's top athletes.
Yeah, it just goes to show them the skill level he has there, even if he's not quite physically on it. At least his technical ability has been able to carry him through.
Last year was just extraordinary.
Yeah, Vit is always a beautiful paddler to watch. He strikes a nice balance between cutting the lines, but also keeping on a very more traditional style of paddling where he's up on the front of the boat, nice bow rudders, nice conventional breakouts, but just loads the edges and carries so much speed, which is getting rarer and rarer these days.
And still we have Jiri Puskovic to come.
Beautiful there from Vit on gate 8. Getting on the front part and driving away into 9.
That's what he wants, 1.66 up.
And that was,
if you're ill, that's what you do.
yeah, beautiful paddling there. I guess it's been an opportunity for him this week to almost focus more in his technique and his plan than the physicality of the course, and it seems to be paying off.
What we've seen in the last couple of athletes are really quite cautious, setting themselves up for 14.
Yeah, I think
0.8 up, so they maybe lost a little bit of time, but at least they know that they don't have to do anything amazing.
I think it's one of those moves where you just want to get it over and done with. So
That was too close. He's lost a second there.
Yeah, just cutting it too tight on the exit. Had to work hard now. Oh, and again, just losing a bit of time on the exit. The last breakout.
So Vit Brindis, the vice world champion. Andre Tunken didn't make it through, which is quite a surprise.
Yeah.
Let's see, is it going to be enough? Should be, maybe even the fastest time.
Sprinting down.
Yes.
Oh, phew. Made it despite those time losses.
So Vit Brindis is qualified as well. 5 to go on, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Antoine Launay.
Yeah, surprises in the qualifications. Beautiful run.
Representing from many nations, representing Portugal. Let's see how he goes through. Good to see him at this last stage.
Yeah. No, he absolutely powered it down on his first qualification run.
I believe they spent a lot of time here.
Yeah, again, I think the Portuguese have also started working with Mark Domenjo. They're trying to set up their base here in Sao to build up for the World Champs next year, so they can get as much advantage as they can for the World Championship, well, for the Olympic qualifications. Nicely done on the top so far for Antoine. Nice composure. Now he's going to be driving away into gate 8. Maybe just a little bit low.
No, he's stuck there, wasn't he? Another second
Yeah.
to say. At this level, you can't do that.
He's getting back on the drive. And let's see where he is on the split.
The
0.4 down.
The top 7 athletes are all within a second so far.
Yeah, and Antoine's still within that magical second area. Let's see how he handles in 13. Just a little bit falling onto his edge in 12, but ultimately kept it running into 13. Still in contention. He sets it up nicely in the sweeps there. Off the pace, unfortunately.
Yeah.
He's going to have to do something special in this bottom half to keep himself into that final zone. Let's see.
He looks to be very calculating there, very conscious of where the gates are, the poles are.
Yeah, wondering if he's taking risks, but could he be driving harder? Is he holding back to some extent? We don't know. This is something that him and his coach will have to re-evaluate at the end of the run.
Well, if he keeps this going, he's going to be 13th, 15th place.
Yeah, he's got to just really work hard now. Maybe just a little bit late getting to a sprint considering what's going on. 98,
No,
18th place.
No,
Not today.
It was never happening, was it? I don't know why.
Yeah, just time being lost in the bottom section.
4 athletes to go. So we do have another qualified, and that is Martin Duguid from Switzerland is now qualified. It's Pt2, birthday yesterday. Look at that. Oh no!
No!
2-second penalty. He really flew off the start, didn't he?
Penalty on that skate. Oh.
But he's really throwing his boat around.
Yeah, you can see the power he's putting down. Kaiser is very much becoming one of the legends in this sport, where he's always there in that top 5, pushing for the medals and very capable of quick runs. If anyone can absorb a penalty, it's
He's
him.
going to have to do something special there.
Nice in and out of 8. Let's see how he's driving down. Still in contention. That just goes to show the pace they had been.
Wow.
A 100th of a second despite a 2-second penalty. Like I said, if anyone can absorb it, it's him. Oh, falling his blade a little too much there. Time being lost, but
Another second to say away.
yeah,
But if he qualifies, it's going to be very frightening for the final.
Oh, for sure. I wonder what tricks he has in the bag. Last year in the World Cup here, he had an absolute stormer on the last breakout where he pulled it all back. And if he's going to save something similar for today, we'll see.
He can't. He has to go flat out.
Yeah. Oh,
no.
no.
Oh, no. It's 1-1.
Let's run them at the bottom end of the course. To see whether we can make it, but I don't think we're going to see cows in the final today.
That's the challenge. If you have an early penalty, he has to push it to the maximum.
Yeah.
Just what he's been through, it's quite good. But
Yeah, considering what happened. Yeah, to be 3.5 seconds off with a capsize and a penalty, I think a lot of athletes would be very jealous of that.
But He's set up Lucien Delfort, just checking out the time. A local boy who's emigrated a few years ago, now for Australia. A lot of Olympic experience. And looked good so far.
Yeah, Lucian's
Never
always,
happy, but
yeah, exactly. But always a contender for the top 10 and frequently medaling. He's the one that can make it down there today.
Joe Clark's in 9th, Christopher Bowers in 10th, and there are 3 athletes to go. They're going to be sweating on this.
Yeah, they're going to be waiting and watching to see what can happen. But ultimately, you gotta deliver the best you can. If you're not quite quick enough, you gotta accept it.
Hannes Egen is now qualified, so you have a German in the final.
Excellent. Nicely done from Lucian there in those first few gates. He's just so composed in the water. This looks like he's hardly trying, but he's moving the boat all the way. Seems like he's gonna be on a quick one. Series on the split, yeah, 1.17 up on that top split.
Well done.
He's
a
so
slight
calm
build, isn't he? But he's doing so well.
Yeah. It's all just just a little bit low on there. I think that's lost him the time that he had built. Let's see how this goes round. Ducking and around.
1.24, so it's possible Lucien Delfort could pull it back.
This one he needs to really deliver again on this bump section.
He needs to be 1.5 as Giovanni Giraio in 8th place at the moment, so he's very much in touch. If he can just completely nail this last section.
Yeah, just the boat bouncing up a little too much on the way into the last breakout, but still might have it. Luckily, the prior upstream was beautiful from him, so we'll see what's going on there. Drive into the finish.
Time
Can he
to
make
go
it?
for, well, it's not going to be there. What's the time to go for? He needs to be under 96.
Oh.
Well, that makes it interesting. Unfortunately, Christopher Bowers is out now. Lucien Delfort goes in 9. Giovanni Gennaro for Italy qualifies for the final. Lucien Delfort has an asterisk next to his name. Now, that's not positive because he has 0 faults.
Yeah,
Juri Puskovic, let's see how he is coming on.
Yeah, they're going to be reviewing his run and seeing where, the judges will be reviewing and seeing where that penalty may be.
One of the most
Yuri
exciting
charge.
paddlers.
Yeah, always ducking and diving and taking risks. I think he's...
So far we have a check in the final. Vip Prindis qualified in 4th place.
Yeah, Yuri's at his happiest knowing that he's able to put down everything he can on a run. He's all or nothing.
But he said once when he was a junior he actually held back and regretted it and said from that day on no.
Yeah, I think it's a great attitude, and I think something that's sort of influencing the other athletes on the circuit now.
Former world champion, Olympic medalist. He's ticked pretty much all the boxes so far.
Yeah.
Look at that, nearly 2 seconds up. And just that section's going to be, he's going to be more up.
Yeah, and to be fair, it's this weird area where the more risks he's taking, the more of a safety net he's creating for himself. So although he was low on 13, he's going to still be in contention because of that top section.
Set himself up, and now it's nice. It's just the speed he puts things forward. This is going to be interesting. Well,
Yeah.
Get a little bit back, but still nearly a second up.
But again, that's just because of the extreme nature of his paddling. Just means he can absorb errors. So it's, like I said, creates a safety net from danger.
Was that a second or so slower?
Potentially, I think it was just a little too steep on the turn.
He's always honest and says, I'm completely exhausted at the end.
I remember one of his interviews in the build-up to Rio where he's saying that his mum forces him to do yoga every night. He doesn't like it, but he knows it's beneficial. So I think
we have a new time of reference.
Let's see.
Oh, close. Safely through, safely. And Lilia gave it a little bit back. So far, 1 athlete left. Who's qualified now? Gio De Gennaro, we have him qualified. Lucien Delfort is in 10th place. Joe Clark's just lost out, so no Brits in the final.
No, they'll be disappointed today.
But we do have a Frenchie. We have Mathieu Biazizou in 1st place, and we have arguably one of the coolest paddlers on the planet to come down now. Boys Neville, nothing phases him.
No, very composed.
If he comes last or first, you don't really know talking to him.
Yeah, no, he's great at just being able to keep himself in the moment and take everything on the chin. Famed also been very quick in the Seyath.
And a former world champion.
Yeah.
Not so many of the top 10.
It's just the depth in this field. Setting up, maybe just a little too much composure at 7, but we'll have to wait and see. Beautiful on 8.
Has one here before.
Yeah. He's always quick in, so let's see where he's on the split. Just off. but the bottom half is still to go.
He doesn't look rushed, does he? He just looks like he's going through a normal day.
Taking his time. I think it'll be a little bit too much on the top half. If he makes it through to the final, I'm sure he'll be addressing that. In and out of 13, driving his way into 14, and you see that lovely pre-turn set up, so he's in and out.
That's nice.
That's
well, he's going to have to go for it, 1.46 off.
Yeah, just about be able to make it in on that pace, but he's going to have to keep working hard. As it stands, that'll just put him ahead of Giovanni. But one last upstream on the course. So it goes in and out.
So this is all about who's going to qualify. Is it going to be Lucien Delfour, who has the asterisks off at the moment, or is it going to be Boris Nevu? You have to be less than 96.26.
Let's see, he's driving through. I think he's going to make it, but only just. No! Oh!
By 12 hundredths of a second, he missed out.
Oh, Lucia makes it into the final.
Well, he had it there. No asterisks near any athletes' names. Let's see where we are at the moment. So, according to the results we have, Lucien Delfour is 10th, Giovanni Di Gennaro, Hannes Egner, Martin Dugu, Nico Test, maybe the big surprise, Vip Prindes, who's been ill, Juan Crespo, Yuri Priskovic, De Laurento, so 2 Spanish, Matthew Biazizu is going to be in the final. So, wow, it's going to be a lot of flyers with a couple of surprises. Dog looks like he's having a good day.
Yeah, it's been a top quality semi-final there, so competitive among the top 10.
The top 8 within a second.
Yeah, it's going to be a great final today, and I still think there's, as you see in those top splits, there's certainly time to bring it down to that 91, 90 area. There should be some great paddling going on.
So Rhys Davis from Great Britain, what's your takeaway from today? Have we seen the fastest times so far?
I don't think so. As we saw from the splits of some of the athletes were, like Yuri especially, who had almost 2 seconds on the top half of the course. I think we're going to be seeing some athletes really cut the lines and really analyse and going quicker and quicker in this final. I think, like I said moments ago, I think a 91 will be around the winning time for today.
Well, that's great. We'll have to wait and see. So we've seen the semi-finals so far, and now we have only about half an hour until there's going to be the finals coming forward. So we'll have a look at the official results just to clarify who goes through, then go away, make yourself a cup of tea, and come back in half an hour.
Yeah, of course. I'm looking forward to watching these finals and seeing some good racing action.
Jess Fox, well, she is lucky in the sense that by definition making the final, we understand that she's actually won the overall classification for the C1. Yesterday it was mathematics all the way, where she took the K1 overall standings, double points, that's why it's a bit complicated today. She took that by 1 point from Ricky Funk, so it's money is at stake. Let's see who's going to go forward, and in a minute we're going to see the official qualifiers.
See the results pop up.
There you are. These are the athletes we're going to be seeing. So good split of nations: France, Spain, Czech Republic, Slovenia, Switzerland, Germany, Italy and Austria. Pretty much always house names apart from Nico Testen, and we're going to discover how he copes with the pressures. You see the timings are really, really close as well.
Yeah, this is a great opportunity for him to start making his mark on the circuit with him.
So Olympic champion misses out, world champion misses out. These are all, this could be a final with those. But those are the athletes, and unfortunately we won't see again today.
That's the competitive nature of this class, meaning that you're always going to see a big name not making it into the final.
Finally, only 4 athletes taking 50 seconds, and I think they took it on the second polar couple.
Yeah, it's all on the second gate, or well, there's 21 here at the finish. At the end, where people just cutting the line that little bit too fine and getting punished for it.
So I think we're going to have a little bit of a pause now, and then we're going to come back in half an hour size time at Planet Canoe, where John Gregory's been tweeting for the last couple of hours. We're going to see all that go forward. Thanks for watching, and tune in soon.